Coming up on Mountain News at 6, police are investigating multiple shootings across 2 counties. What officials know about the incident so far. Plus, administrators with a high school install a new weapon detection system. How they say this will help keep students safe.
Plus, a first alert for potential severe storms for the middle of this week. Your forecast coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
3 people are dead after a violent series of events in Southern Kentucky. It happened Friday night between Pulaski and Russell counties. Police say a woman shot and killed her husband, then opened fire on her siblings. That woman, Angela Gosser, was also killed in the gunfire. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has learned that one of the victims is a former Fish and Wildlife officer. He has more from Russell County.
Well, this all started Friday night when Larry Gosser was shot and killed. That happened in Pulaski County. Police say that Angela Gosser was the one that fired the weapon. Then she proceeded to come to Russell County, where she shot her sister, Jennifer Wilson, and police say then got into a shootout with her brother, Daryl Wilson. Larry Gosser was working on a tree on his property in western Pulaski County when police say that his wife opened fire on him, killing him. It's not clear why that or the other deadly shootings happened.
Still open for investigation. We're still looking at the motive and reason. We're going to work closely with detectives are right now back there working on our end of it, going to work closely with Kentucky State Police and Columbia Post.
Gosser worked for many years for Fish and Wildlife, and his family says he loved the outdoors. People say that he had an influence on a lot of others during his service, even on those he didn't know well.
I do remember when I seen the photo of him. I do remember him from years past.
And along with his work in Fish and Wildlife, I'm told that Larry Gosser was very involved in agriculture. He loved to farm. He was in milk and cattle and tobacco farming. He was also on the governor's marijuana task force. In Russell County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Funeral services for Larry Gosser are set for 2 p.m. Wednesday at Wilson Funeral Home in Russell Springs. Visitation will be there after 5 p.m. tomorrow. Services for Angela Gosser will be at noon Friday at Wilson Funeral Home. Police are continuing to investigate an explosion that happened in Pulaski County over the weekend. The explosion reportedly lasted for several seconds. The sound of it was caught on this video. Pulaski County Sheriff Bobby Jones says it was felt in places miles away as debris was scattered about. He says they responded to the home on Hidden Crest Drive off U.S. Highway 27. He says that's when they found the source of the explosion, fireworks.
Finding insulation and stuff in their yards and from several miles away from this location that exploded. It was a outbuilding behind a residence in a subdivision that was storing fireworks. Something had happened inside of that to set that off.
The ATF and Pulaski County Sheriff's Office are both investigating the explosion. Sheriff Bobby Jones says one person died, 43-year-old Christopher Feinberg. 3 others were hurt.
We are tracking some showers and thunderstorms on this Monday evening. Some good news. These are below severe limits, but some are heavy. Also, some are loud. Let's zoom into the Cumberland Valley from Whitley County, pushing into Knox County. Also right on top of downtown Manchester and Clay County. Some heavier thunderstorms here. Also a first alert in Hazard. A few heavier downpours pushing through Perry County over the next few minutes. Also tracking some more light to moderate downpours and a few heavier thunderstorms close to the Mountain Parkway for Wolfe County. Moving into parts of McGoffin, also into Morgan counties at this hour. But again, no severe storms on Monday, but that could change as we go into tomorrow. Also on Wednesday, some more showers and maybe a few thunderstorms as we go into this evening. Those lows once again mild to wake up on Tuesday in the middle to lower 60s. And again, we are tracking some more busy weather on Tuesday and on Wednesday. 2 different threats for severe weather. One on Tuesday, a slight risk of severe weather for the afternoon, also pushing into Tuesday. Into Wednesday night. More details on that severe weather chance coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thank you. With severe weather in the forecast this week, we are looking back at a damaging month for some Kentucky counties and what crews are doing to prepare for another potentially stormy month. Alexa Minton spoke with emergency management officials who tell us how to best prepare for intense storms.
So severe weather, you think April showers bring May flowers. It also brings severe weather.
Tornadoes touched down in 10 Kentucky counties this April, leaving serious damage behind in places like Anderson, Bourbon, Clark, and Jessamine County. Many in those areas are still trying to rebuild more than a month later, ahead of another round of severe weather.
After a tornado hits a community, emergency management role then becomes one of recovery. So we'll monitor the weather as it's coming, help people get prepared, help the response with the first responders such as police and fire, but then afterwards we help take care of the community.
According to preliminary reports from the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center, the month of April had the second most tornadoes on record, with 300 confirmed nationwide. At least 19 of those hit Kentucky. The most was in April 2011, when there were 757 tornadoes across the country.
After a severe weather event hits, start looking for information coming out from your local emergency management agency, not just us, but everywhere, because we'll be helping coordinate federal and state resources to those people who were affected by the storm.
With an active weather pattern promised for the week ahead, it will be important for folks to have weather preparedness kits in case damaging winds or even tornadic activity hits their home.
So when it comes to severe weather, all we can do is be prepared. I can't tell Mother Nature what to do, as much as I would like it for it to be 75 and sunny all the time. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive weather alerts and notifications in the case of a weather event.
For WKYT, I'm First Alert Meteorologist Alexa Minton.
Construction on a Letcher County bridge began today. Officials with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet say the bridge will be closed 3 to 4 weeks for rehabilitation project. That bridge is in downtown Whitesburg on East Main Street. Officials say crews will begin construction by operating on the deck and beams. The bridge will remain closed to all traffic while the project is ongoing. A man was charged with escape and resisting arrest in Clay County. Police responded to a complaint that someone was trying to break into a home. When they arrived, police said they encountered Willie Henson. Henson was charged with escape, resisting arrest, and menacing. He was taken to the Clay County Detention Center. The Knox County Sheriff's Office is conducting a death investigation. Police responded to a call this morning saying a man was unresponsive at his home on Dripping Springs Road in Hinkle. When they arrived, police found 61-year-old Ricky Jordan. Jordan was pronounced dead at the scene by the Knox County coroner. Police say no foul play is suspected at this time. The body was sent to Frankfort for an autopsy to verify the cause of death. 2 Johnson County men were arrested after a drug bust at a traffic safety checkpoint. Police say they seized approximately 1/2 pound of meth and drug paraphernalia at the checkpoint in Syersville. Nicholas Barnett and Tony Endicott of West Van Leer were both charged with trafficking meth. Both men were taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. A Somerset man was charged with rape and burglary after an investigation in Wayne County. Police responded to a report of a possible sexual assault at a home in the Homestead Heights neighborhood. Police arrested 23-year-old Zachary Stephen Brown of Somerset. Again, he's charged with rape and burglary, and he was taken to the Pulaski County Detention Center. The victim was taken to the hospital. New information late today from the University of Kentucky about a story we first told you about late last week. The University Senate approved a resolution of no confidence in UK President Eli Capilouto. The vote passed by a vote of 58 to 24 with 11 abstentions. The Senate is now considering extending the resolution to the Board of Trustees. Senate members are upset about changes the Board of Regents approved to the Senate's role. The plan will take away the Senate's authority to make policy. One Girl Scout in Moorhead is working towards her Gold Award by spreading awareness about banned books. Katie Hardesty is a senior-level Girl Scout and had to complete an 80-hour project to serve the community to achieve the highest award. Hardesty chose to host an educational and interactive program centered around banned books. Hardesty chose the project of banned books because of her passion for books.
We were talking about our favorite books and stuff like that, and then we got onto the topic of book events, and we got onto the topic of banned books, and I realized I love books a lot. Books really help me communicate. I love reading books. It's very educational. It has built so much empathy.
The book club also included a discussion centered around Anne Frank's diary, the graphic adaptation, and The Hate You Give. We will have more on book bans and the Banned Book Club tonight at 11. Officials with Harlan County Schools are continuing to find ways to be proactive in cases of emergency. WYMT's RJ Johnson shares how the school district's newest safety measure has impacted students.
Walking into the doors of Harlan County High School, students will now have to go through metal detectors. Harlan County Schools Chief of Police Matt Cope says they are different from standard metal detectors found in airports.
When you compare it to a traditional metal detector that goes off on every piece of metal, this one here focuses on like densities and shapes and that type of stuff. So it allows them to come through and not have to empty all their pockets out with cell phones and everything like that.
Cope says they wanted to make students aware of the new equipment before they brought it into the school.
You know, we want the students to feel comfortable with what's coming here. So when we first were deciding on it, you know, we met with some of those groups, we met with some classes, we met with the student council. We explained to them about how everything's going to work with the detectors.
Senior William Cassim says they have a system in place if the detector does go off to not hold anyone up.
So the way they have it set up is you go through it, and if you do go off, you go to the left and go up the steps, and they check on it. And then if it doesn't go off, you go right and you go on to class, and it ain't a big deal. They'll have the wands and just look in your bag, and it takes seconds to detect what actually set it off, and they know about immediately what sets it off.
However, senior Jacob Shoemaker says he was worried it would slow things down when arriving to school.
You know, you're just afraid it's going to take a while to get in and out. You know, get in the building, you'll be late to class stuff. But the first couple of days it was rough, but you expect that. So once they got it to the level they needed it to be, to where it just, you know, it doesn't go off on the keys and the, you know, the phone, stuff like that, it wasn't bad. But you can definitely appreciate the attempt that the school district's making to keep us safe.
Saying he is thankful for the several security upgrades officials have put in place around the school. In Harlan County, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Cope says they can turn the sensitivity on the detectors up or down, adding they are also portable and can be used during different events around the school.
We are tracking some showers and storms this evening, and more are on the way. Those details coming up. Plus,
how Kentucky Derby winner Mystic Dan is connected to Kentucky beyond the big race.